So you're thinking about becoming a YouTuber and sailing around the world. How much are you going to get paid to do that? My name is Michael Potts. I live on this Scepter 36-foot sailboat. This is where I am today. I'm in Scarborough, Ontario at Bluffers Park Marina, where I'm currently working and saving up to go back out and this time never come back. That's the plan anyway. Everyone has this dream of being able to sail in one direction and see the world for yourself. You know, the technology that's available today is incredible. You can have Starlink, you could do live broadcasts from the middle of the ocean. So let me start with a brief synopsis of my story, and then we're going to get into exactly how I decided to do YouTube, my experience with it, and then how much I'm making on YouTube and Patreon. And then if you stick around to the end of the video, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I would do differently and some of the gear that you're going to need and exactly how much that's going to cost you. And then I'm going to talk about, is it really worth it? All right, so let's get into it. I purchased this boat in 2019, just in and around the time of the pandemic. And my dream was, at the time, was to sail down to Grenada, which is, you know, on the far side of the Caribbean. If you look at the Caribbean as a sea, it's really down south, right across from Trinidad. So I worked for a number of years and learned how to sail. I sailed up the St. Lawrence and back. Not up the St. Lawrence, pretty far. Gananoque Way and a little bit past there. And all the way back was learning how to sail. And saved up my stocked up the cruising kitty. And eventually I left the dock and I went down through the Oswego, Erie Canal, Hudson, Manhattan, around Sandy Hook, all the way down the ICW into Miami. And in Miami, I crossed over into the Bahamas, spent some time there, and I sailed all the way back, and now I'm here. So during that time, I originally started the channel, and it was very slow at first. And your first hurdle is getting to 1,000 subscribers and having 3,000 hours of watch time. At that point, YouTube considers you an investment. YouTube's kind of like a labor union. Once you've sort of proved yourself and uploaded enough videos, the algorithm sort of sees you in and around 35 videos, in my opinion, and they start promoting your content, and then eventually they start paying you. Okay? So eventually I got up to 500 and then 1,000, and that's in and around that time, that's when I left. Okay, so by the time I had gotten down and into the ICW, there wasn't a lot of people watching the videos, but when I made it into Florida, I made one particular video that just kind of went crazy. And from there, I gained some momentum. And as I was crossing, it was really strange. I was kind of like got down to Florida. I came home worked for a season, went back down there, went back down and into Miami, and was there and was really low on funds. And I released that video, and YouTube actually, for some reason, it really hit, okay? And it was about the laws in Florida at the time. It's called Dirty Boat Bums. And there was a lot of people living in Florida on boats just because it's so expensive to live in Miami. A lot of people have chosen to buy a boat and anchor it somewhere and live on it. So there was this issue of anchoring, and they've changed the laws. You can watch that video right here. And in and around that time, that video kind of went viral in terms of what I think is viral for my channel. And that month, I got paid like $1,800. So YouTube is it's a tough racket. For one, you know, I chose a different sort of style of channel where my plan was no matter what happened, I was going to push the record button. You know, a lot of people, they don't want to broadcast on the internet their mistakes. But I chose to be honest about it, and I think that sort of rang true with my audience. At least I hope so. And so when I was in New York, Atlantic City, actually, I didn't have a full chain. You learn as you go. And the rope road got wrapped around my keel, and I drug anchor under a bridge and had to be rescued by the Coast Guard there. They didn't actually do anything. It was a resident there that ended up pulling my halyard at the top of my mast off the bridge there. So that cost quite a bit of money. to fix that. So YouTube was helping at that point. You know, the monthly, YouTube pays you on the 21st of every month. And it really helps over time, even though it's a smaller amount of money. You can depend on a little bit of money coming through. Now, there were some very wonderful people out there that decided to join my Patreon site. And on Patreon, I have a few videos, or a number of videos that aren't on YouTube. And I appreciate everyone even sticking with me till now, because, you know, I'm about to embark on my next huge adventure here. So I'm hoping everyone sticks with me here and subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, make a comment down below. So how much do sailing YouTubers make? Now, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you an average of what I make, what I made while I was sailing and the videos were in the Caribbean content versus what I'm making now. So at the height of the channel, when I was down in the Caribbean, I was roughly between $600 and $800 per month. Okay, so because it's travel content, you actually get a higher rate. Like, let's say if I made something like reviews on phones or something on YouTube, it's going to be a lot less money. It might be $4 per every thousand, $4 per every 1,000 views. Where, as a sailing travel content, under people and blogs, you know, you're roughly $11 to $12 for every 1,000 views. So it does add up. Now, the cool thing about YouTube is if you have a number of videos, there's 400 videos on my channel. So some people will stumble on the channel and be like, oh, it's kind of cool. He sailed down to the Bahamas. I think I'll start from the beginning. And then they go through all the videos. So you're constantly getting videos. Right now, I think it's like 10,000 views per week is what I'm getting right now on average, just because people discover the channel and then they go through the videos and enjoy the adventure. Now, other than Adventures of an Old Sea Dog or maybe Sailing Parley Revival, I don't really think there's a channel out there that said, okay, we are going to sail around the world, and they've sort of done the journey and they're in mid-journey, you know, and that's what the vlog's about. Now, it's pretty cool. Adventures of an Old Sea Dog, he's great. I like how he, you know, my favorite channel when I was starting out was How to Sail Oceans. And I liked his content because it was about sailing, you know, and the realities of sailing. It's very important. I don't recommend just saying one day, okay, I'm going to become a sailing vlogger, going and buying a boat and starting a channel. YouTube is somewhat of a lottery. Okay, something happens and people decide to watch you. I have a number of other YouTubing friends. There's a guy named Sailor Boy #1. Me and him, we're not friends, but I mean, we chat online. And he's got hundreds of videos, and they only get 80, 90 views per video. I don't know why. I love his videos. I watch all of his content. I think they're great. Something weird is going on YouTube. For some reason, people watch content. I'm in that lucky category where there are some very loyal fans out there that watch the content. I don't make the videos for money. I don't do that. I love filmmaking. Filmmaking is how I started. For example, I'm on a movie right now. I can't talk too much about the movie because I signed an NDA and I can't really talk about what we're shooting, but you know, it does have Chris Pratt in it. It's a very large movie, huge budget with 4, you know, units. We're in, like, I can't tell you where we are tomorrow, but it's very far away. We have helicopters, and they're spending millions of dollars on this TV series. I work as a camera assistant, so I'm a first camera assistant. I keep the image in focus. I load cards. You know, I set the camera up. I change lenses, change filters. I look at settings, and I manage crew. All right, so I've been doing this job for about, well, as a first, about 12 years now, and I was a second for 12 years, so about 24 years of experience in terms of cameras. So it felt natural for me to start a YouTube channel because I knew about cameras and editing. And I worked for a number of years as an editor on cruise ships when I was younger there, so I knew a thing or two about editing and cameras. Now, before we get into the camera side of things, let me be clear about this. So how much am I making on YouTube? Okay, on average, it's about $500 from YouTube right now. At the height when I was down in the Caribbean, it was about $1,000. Then there's also maybe $500 in Patreon support. So you're getting about $1,000. At the height of the channel, it was $2,000. That $2,000 Canadian was, when you're on a sailboat, you own the sailboat, you're not staying in marinas, you're on the hook. That's enough for diesel, food. It's great, you know. However, making that commitment, you have to upload a video every week. Up until 2 weeks ago, I uploaded videos for like weekly for the last year. You know, it's just because I'm on this movie, and you know, it's really busy in the Toronto area here for filmmaking and production. I've been working, and as a camera assistant, I think I did like 95 hours this week. It's crazy. Yeah, so I mean, we're in Stony Creek, which is 2.5 hours away. I got to be there at 6 in the morning tomorrow. So I got to get up tonight at 3:30, or tomorrow in the 3:30 in the morning, drive for 2 hours, then work for 14 hours, then stay in a hotel for another week, and then drive all the way back. So anyway, it's a very high paid job. I've learned a lot of things on this boat. She's a 1979 Scepter 36 with a 20 horsepower Yanmar diesel engine in it. I rebuilt the engine twice, or I changed the head gasket twice on this engine. This boat is older and has a lot of, I need a bigger boat, a newer, more capable yacht. So, and I also need to really build up my funds in order to go out and go around the world. You know, I learned so much sailing down to the Bahamas about, you know, single hand sailing, about wind and weather and what to do and what not to do. And that experience, I hope, you know, I transmitted a good portion of that to you guys on YouTube. So you can watch the 350 videos that are on the channel, and you might glean some really crucial things on the channel, what to do and what not to do. I know exactly what type of boat I need, the navionics and the chart plotter that I need, radar. You know, I did during the winter, was lucky enough to sail from Bermuda to Antigua, 7 days out in the middle of the Atlantic. That changed everything for me. When I was out in the middle of the ocean, I felt at home. And I knew then and there that I had to be out there. There's something special about being out and being free and sailing every day in one direction. I can't transmit it to you in a YouTube video. It's such an amazing experience. To see a new place every day, to be at anchor, to be in that marine environment. I just love it. And the wind from the earth is pushing you around the planet. I mean, that to me is the bee's knees. I love that idea and concept. Now, there are some places I really want to see. I was born in Scotland. I'd like to go over to Scotland in late summer, probably next year, and sail around Scotland and see it for myself. You know, and when it gets cold, I'm going to head down through Portugal, you know, past the Med there and down maybe into Africa, the Skeleton Coast, and then take the trade winds back and into the Caribbean, maybe further into the Pacific, who knows. This is going to take some effort. Later this season, I'm going to be doing some refits on this vessel. So my plan is to get that accomplished and maybe put a new engine in this boat, new sails, a couple of things that I really need that I think are very important. That are going to make my journey a lot more comfortable. Being a single-handed sailor is tough because you can't sleep much when you're out in the ocean. And it's very hard. I never actually really slept much. I think I slept maybe an hour and a half at the most when I was out at sea as a single-hander. So you learn to get in with the rhythm of the ocean and getting rest. It's very important. It's something that you can pick up over time. It's just a matter of getting out there and doing it. So essentially, yeah, I think the strange thing about YouTube is it's exponential. The more videos you put out, the more people watch it, the more subscribers you have, the more the algorithm tries to sell your thumbnail to people who are you know, clicking through. So what are my suggestions if you're going to get started? We're going to go into the gear you need in a moment here, but I'm going to tell you some really crucial things right now. So get yourself a pen and paper. Remember this. This is very important. In my opinion, the best way to make a YouTube video about sailing is start with the thumbnail. Okay? A lot of times you're out and you're sailing the coast of New Jersey, you're going around Sandy Hook. Try to imagine a thumbnail in your mind of what the video is going to be about, right? Then make the video. That's always a good way to do it. You may not be able to do that all the time, but it's definitely a good way to start. A good thumbnail is everything. People click on an interesting thumbnail. You can't just, even if I was like, I sailed across the Pacific Ocean on a thumbnail, it's not good enough. It has to have some sort of hook. It has to look interesting. And you get to know this really well. There are programs you can use like vidIQ. There's a number of, I think YouTube's kind of throttling. Throttling means when they tend not to promote videos that are using AI right now. If you get AI to generate a thumbnail, it doesn't seem to be working. YouTube's managed to get away. It's YouTube. It's not like a big production facility or nothing. It's you. I think YouTube, in my opinion, is based on original people that are making content that really can relate to the average person. You know, so I've met a lot of really cool people through the channel, and we've become friends. And I'm very honored and blessed to have this YouTube channel. It's almost at 10,000 subscribers right now. You can hit the subscribe button down below for me. Help me out. It doesn't cost you anything. It's free. And watch the videos. It would help me out. My dream is to sort of apply what I've learned in the film industry with a larger budgeted edit suite and cameras, and really bring you guys maybe a video every 2 weeks, but a really good one about exactly what I'm doing, filmed in a more beautiful manner with better cameras. So if I was going to start out in YouTube and say, I want to become a YouTuber, I want to be a sailor, I want to go out there and try to earn $3,000 or $4,000 a month online, have sponsorships, that sort of thing, and keep sailing. This is possible, but I'll tell you, it's a very hard thing to do. Again, YouTube is somewhat like a lottery. And it's very hard work for very little pay at first. It's not something, YouTube is not something you just go out and say, I'm going to start a business doing YouTube. No, it's not realistic, guys. Don't do that. You have to be not in it for the money, and I'm not in for that. I love making films. I love making videos. Sometimes when I'm down below in front of that computer at the keyboard and I'm editing a video, I get choked up. You know, I get the chills. I love it. Sometimes you put the right music with the right video together. That is my reward. And it's something very special to me. And I'll watch the video like 3 or 4 times and be so excited to release it. And then all the comments, and it gets views. And it's kind of like a game, you know, to see how well you can do. I really enjoy that. And I have huge plans on the things that the content that I would like to create in the future in different countries, in different areas. There's things that I want to see. I want to go to the Skeleton Coast. You know, I want to go to Cape Town. I want to go to Hawaii. You know, I want to see India and Singapore, Australia, New Zealand. Although I've already been to Australia and New Zealand. I'd like to see it again. Now, that's a big ask. It's not something that can easily be done. So it's going to need the right boat, the right amount of funds, and the right audience. So my plan, I'm going to achieve this. I'm going to do this. I have a plan. I'm not going to talk about it here. Maybe I'll talk about it in another video, but that is the plan for me. And I'm going to bring you guys along with me. And that's why you guys are kind of like my digital crew. You guys are crew members. A lot of you out there have families, and you don't have the ability to just take off and go sailing alone. No. You have responsibilities, you have a job, you have children, family. You can't do that. I worked in film for years, so, you know, I don't have that. I have I can work on a film project for a while and then just leave and come back and work on another film project. I'm not roped into some corporation who expects you to be at your desk on Monday, 9 to 5. It's not like that for me. I can work project to project. So very happy and lucky and honored to do what I do. So if I was going to start a YouTube channel, what gear would I use? Okay. Now, I originally started with PC computers, like desktop computers, and I strapped it to the bulkhead, thinking that if something went wrong, like a graphics card went down, I could order the parts on Amazon rather than a laptop. Because a laptop you have to bring to a computer place, or you have to send it in somewhere to get fixed. So I was thinking, if something goes down, at least I can order it on Amazon and replace a power supply, or replace a graphics card or a motherboard or whatever, a fan or something inside the PC. And that I did end up replacing parts like that. But I think if your best bet is to get a Pelican case and an M1 or an M2 MacBook, okay, that has more than 16 gigs of RAM. Get yourself a monthly subscription to Adobe Premiere, okay? Keep that laptop inside that case. The only time you take that laptop out is when you're editing. You never leave it out in the sun. It has to be in a sealed, waterproof case. You understand me? Very important. Same with your camera equipment. I learned that lesson very hard. I originally purchased cinema gear thinking that I would be able to shoot in saltwater environment, a very expensive cinema camera, and that quickly went wrong. And your best bet is GoPro when you're starting out. Okay, you can use other cameras, just make sure they're in cases. Okay, GoPro is great because the batteries are cheap. The GoPros themselves are essentially reusable. You know, you're shooting in 5.3K, which is a very high resolution, so you can zoom in, and they're waterproof. And they're tiny, and the batteries last forever. You can do lots of time lapse. You could put them in your pocket when you go ashore, you know. Because they're very small, you could drop them overboard, and I've done that. So get yourself 2 GoPros and an X4, an Insta X4, and that's a 360 camera. Instead of a GoPro having a lens, right? It has 2 lenses, and it records in 3 dimensions. It records everything. You can choose the frame afterwards. It's pretty good technology. You'll see that in some of my videos. Now, having a sort of prosumer stills camera that records in 4K is great with the lenses and the sensor. The problem is you're in a saltwater environment. You're in a very windy location. So what you want to do is you want to get yourself one of these things. This is the DJI Mic 2, okay, with one receiver and 2 transmitters. This little device right here. And this will block out some of the noise. I also have an HN4 Zoom recorder. It's like a handheld recorder. You can record all sorts of ambient noises to dub in afterwards. Obviously, we're sailing and wind is a problem. And a lot of people don't want to hear wind noise. So you got to have yourself a muff on your mics. Now, GoPros are fantastic for noise reduction. You get yourself a wind muff, or you get yourself a lavalier mic like the DJI Mic 2, and they work great. Get yourself a bunch of GoPros because you will go through them. They do, essentially, like I said, they are disposable. In a saltwater environment, you know, get yourself a floaty, the GoPro floaty, so if it does drop in the water, at least you can turn the boat around and get it. I've dropped many GoPros. Now let's talk about drones. I originally bought a drone on a whim. I was on a movie set and I was like, you know what, a drone would be great to have, you know, and I kind of contemplated if I should get it or not. It was the best thing I ever did, getting a DJI Mini 3 Pro. It's absolutely fantastic, and it brings a lot of production value to your videos, okay? Now flying a drone on a sailboat is very risky. I've gone through, 3 drones now that I either broke or dropped in the water or flew into a building when I was doing a zoom out shot in Miami. And so when you buy a DJI Mini 3 Pro, pay the $150 to get replacements. Pay that money, and you got to do it when you buy it. You can't sign up afterwards. 100% you are going to lose your drone at one point. Now, there was a drone, I had 1,100 clips on the body. So it paid for itself over and over, okay? Imagine it like this. If YouTube's gonna pay you, it's gonna cover your Adobe Premiere, which is gonna be about $50 Canadian a month. And it'll, you know, you'll be able to pay off your cameras in time, and it'll help you out with some food and diesel, right? But, you know, you're looking at $40,000 a minimum for at least somewhat of a blue water sailboat. And then you gotta take the time off work to go do the sailing. And then there's no guarantee that you're actually going to get views on YouTube. So, is it possible? Yes. Would I do it again? Absolutely. I love filmmaking. I live for making videos. It's my favorite thing to do. And I plan on making many, many more. So, get yourself some sort of laptop in a Pelican case. get yourself 2 GoPros and an X4. Keep it in a Pelican case. Get yourself a massive amount of cards. Get at least 20 good cards. Don't buy the cheap ones off Amazon. Get good cards, okay? Stick to in and around, you can get 1 terabyte cards. You don't need that. They're very expensive. Just 120 gigs are good, and shoot in high res. On the GoPro, use HDR, okay? High dynamic range. It makes your videos so much better when you apply what's called a LUT. A LUT is a lookup table. It's kind of like a predetermined settings that you can input into your Adobe Premiere and use those. Now, what I like to do with GoPros don't have LUTs. I apply my own sort of LUT that I've come up with over the years, which is very simple. What you do is you increase the contrast, you reduce your whites, okay, and then I add a bit of vignette in it. Kind of rounds off the corners in black, and it looks amazing, especially in HDR. Okay, HDR, high dynamic range. It looks deeper into the shadows. So if you have it on standard and part of your image is in shadow, you won't see what's inside that shadow. HDR allows the sensor to record above and below, so it looks into the shadow. You see more detail in the shadows. When you reduce the contrast, it makes it look like a film camera. It's beautiful. The 10-bit color science that GoPro has come up with is game-changing. Absolutely game-changing. When I first started out, we were working with film cameras. You know, I've worked with Al Pacino. You can look me up in the credits in 88 minutes. Those were film cameras. When I first started, we were switching from film cameras to video cameras. So I was working as a second, working with this new technology, which was high definition video. We used to record on big tapes back in the day. We had like a huge cable that would run out of the back of the camera onto tapes. And then now it's cards. Now we use the Sony Venice, the Red Komodo, or we use the Alexa 35. Now those cameras are like millions of dollars. The lenses, for example, for the last week, we've been using Tamashii lenses. They're like $11,000, $12,000 per lens, and we have like 40 of them, okay? Some of the zooms are worth $500,000. These are big cameras, but at the end of the day, the sensor's still 6K, and GoPros are 5.3, so you're getting a lot of value for under $1,000. These GoPros are revolutionary. You can zoom in. They have the still shot, so it doesn't look shaky like if you bought a prosumer stills camera. GoPro's got steady shot, so it's like it's on a gimbal. Absolutely amazing. So some people don't like to watch videos that are shaky, like my mom. So I always use the extra steady shot on my GoPro, so that she loves my videos. So I hope she does. She tells me that. I try to make them still and not shaky. You'll notice that in some of them. So get yourself a good MacBook, get yourself some GoPros, get yourself a drone, DJI only. Don't go for the shitty ones, the Hollyland or whatever the hell they are. Get DJI only, okay? Because the Mini 3 Pro is under 280 grams, it's not considered an aircraft. You don't need a pilot's license, okay? So if you get a Mavic 2 or a Mavic 2 Pro or something crazy like the Matrice 30, you know, where you can spend up to 20 grand on a drone, you're gonna need a pilot's license, an aircraft license, a drone pilot's license. And it's actually not that expensive to do that, but the DJI Mini 3 and Mini 4, great drones to have. You can get one for $1,000. You can get, I think it's $1,200 for the Fly More combo. You get 3 batteries. They fly for like 45 minutes. You know, they will return to you when the battery's done. I fly from my solar panel, which is right here, and I try to take off. Next time I go out, I'm gonna build a net so that I can fly the drones into a net. A friend of mine, Captain Tom Wood, we took his Beneteau from Bermuda to Antigua, and I was in the middle of the Atlantic, 700 miles offshore, flying my drone. We're in big swell. I just couldn't get it on board, and it was running out of battery. It's like, land, please land now. Doot, doot, doot. And so I just flew it at us at the cockpit, and it hit me. I grabbed it, and it broke. So hope you guys enjoyed that shot. You know, I've probably invested, I don't know, $20,000, $30,000 into making these videos for you guys, and I certainly haven't made that back on YouTube. Maybe one day I will. I don't do it for money. I do it because I love sailing. I do it because I love YouTube and the idea of being free. And I hope this video has inspired you to critically think and look at being a content creator on YouTube. It's been probably one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. I absolutely love it. And I hope this video will inspire you to go out tomorrow and make a YouTube video. You could do it on your smartphone. It is totally, you don't need all the crazy, you can make a one clip or do live streams. Some people have millions of subscribers that have made videos on smartphones. That's a reality. You don't have to be a cinematographer like me to go out there and make really cool content on YouTube. All right, so tell me what you think down below. If you guys have any questions, you know, leave some comments down below. I'll give you my honest answer of what I think. You know, it's really about consistently uploading videos that come from your heart and are you know, original and from your heart is very important. It rings true with people. They see that you're being honest. It's not some money thing to make money on YouTube. Like, if you're going to start a business, you're a crazy person if you think you're going to start a business on YouTube and it being successful. You'd be better off going to the casino or buying a lottery ticket. And that's the truth. I think the real content creators that are out there, they didn't do it for the money. They did it because they love making content. Keep that in mind. So I hope you found this video informative. My show ends on Friday here, so I'm gonna get back into making some sailing content for you guys. I have some videos on the way here. I appreciate everyone sticking with me. In the next little while here, things are gonna change big time, and we are gonna go sailing around the world. All right, so subscribe to the channel. Hope you enjoyed this video. Captain Michael signing out. We'll see you in the next one.